I've returned the image of awnings and umbrellas to its original status, and I'd like to show you the dynamic plugin called Liquid Lens. Now, this is a fairly complex dialog box, and it must remain open while you work. These are the tools. You have a distort tool, which will enable you to simply move pixels through the image. You have a bulge tool, and if you make a stroke here, for example, you can see that it is spreading pixels out. You can pinch pixels, which will allow you to move them closer together. A right twirl, and I like showing you on the stripes what that does. A left twirl up here will go in the opposite direction. Circular distortion will let you make large or small changes to an area where you drag. I'm going to clear the effect that I've made so far, and I'm also going to show you what rain does. It just plops distortion in little lumps all over the image, and you can stop it by tapping on the image, and of course you can clear. Let's make some more distortions so that I can show you what happens when you use the eraser tool. With the eraser tool, you can simply drag through some distorted pixels to bring back the original. There can be some very creative ways of doing that, so it's not a clear. A clear would remove all of the distortions, but here you are removing the distortions in a very deliberate kind of way. And I will clear that now. Reset all tools simply means that if you've made changes to any of these settings, such as what we would do here with bulge, that's a huge bulge. And let's see if we can do that with pinch. That's a major pinch. So now I can reset all of those settings, clear, and now I can see that my bulge is going to be less dramatic. My pinch also. Clear and cancel. I want you to see what you can do with liquid metal. And this can be done with painting on an image, on a layer, or on a blank canvas. And I'm just going to cancel that so I can return to a blank canvas. And now I will bring it back. You have several tools and settings, and you need to keep this open while you work. With the brush tool, you can basically paint liquid metal strokes. With the circular drop tool, you can drag any size droplet of liquid metal and notice the way they attract each other and blend together. It's as if you were painting with mercury. Notice that you can just erase through a stroke, through a droplet. You can also select a drop. Let's select this one, and now you can move it around. Notice that it will attract to other drops. When you display handles, you can see each individual drop, including the drops that compose a painted stroke. So now I can select one of those or several of those and move them. And I'll just make those handles invisible for now. We can change the size of a selected drop or group of drops, make for some other changes as well. When we look at the map field, standard map is what you're seeing here. You have another interior photograph that will provide you with a very different kind of look for the map. Chrome 1 looks like so, Chrome 2 like that. If you have a clone source, it will be made visible in this way. Since we don't have a designated image as a clone source, we are getting the pattern by default. Just to make for a different pattern, let's take a look at what happens now after having changed that pattern. We first had to go to a different map, and then when we returned to the clone source choice, we saw the updated pattern. Again, you can clear just as you could with Liquid Lens. You can rain droplets upon your canvas, and I will stop that by tapping on my image. If I go back to standard metal, and that changes drops to this look that looks very much like liquid metal. So this concludes our visit to dynamic plugins. And just to remind you, you can always go back to Liquid Metal just as you can with any of those plugins and make changes.